Okay. And anyway, when I met with Tracy, like she was super fabulous. Her kids were super fabulous. And I was like, we did all the skincare. She loved it. Her kids loved it. And I was thinking, well, you know what? I have a party actually afterward. I don't know if I want to share with her and I thought, nope, I'm just going to do the same thing that I do every single time. I shared the pink opportunity. And by the way, I've gone back to that and it is really, I think, attracting more. So maybe we should study that, the pink opportunity, the PINK 123. Um, anyway, Tracy signed up that very day. So anyway, I just want to encourage you to develop whatever works for you, and every single appointment, do share the opportunity. Okay. Um, so next, we're going to talk about how many bookings do we have on the books for next week? How many of you have at least one booking for next week? Because next week's a holiday week. Excellent. How many of you have two, three, four, five, six? Okay. Cynthia, your hand was up the longest. So how many do you have?
4.
That's excellent. Okay. And tell me, what kind of appointments are those? Are those parties, virtual, in person, facials? What are they?
Um, 2 messenger parties, 1 in person, 1 Zoom, and then I think I got a message from somebody that they might come tomorrow.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent, excellent. Um, those messenger parties are cool. I don't know if you guys got to get on. I think Kim was on. I'm not sure if Liz was on, but they're like 15-minute parties that you do on Messenger. And Cynthia was really, really sharp. It was really good. So anyway, if you want to be added to the group so you can look at what she did, let us know and I can add you. I think, Cynthia, I don't know how long that group will still stay open. Are you using that same group for the messenger party, or no? Are you opening different groups?
I open different groups so I can name it, the hostess's name.
Gotcha. The one that you did, is that one going to stay, like if I invited somebody to go look at it?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know if
I
they can see what was posted before they were added, though.
Okay. Okay.
well, I can
So,
add somebody and they can see,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, because that would be fun for anyone who didn't get to see what it was like. It was literally 15 minutes. I know Cynthia's having really great success with that. So way to go, Cynthia. Way to go for showing us a new way to do things. Um, okay, and then how many of you are already going to be on target for star for the next star quarter? Raise your hand. Tracy, raise your hand. Kim, raise your hand. And I think India, yours was, let's see, June. Yours was at the beginning of June, but we're gonna get you going for the next star. And she doesn't even know what that is because she's so brand new. She got qualified with her party at the beginning of the month with a ton of people, and we still have to keep going with that. So, okay, excellent. All right, I'm gonna turn it back over to my co-hostesses. I think next, is it Mary that's next for the training?
Yes.
so, all right. We totally should have started recording when you started on a recognition. I was like, man, this stuff is like amazing. And Cynthia, you totally maybe talked me up. I don't know. I was like, oh, I hope what's the word I'm looking for? I hope I can stand up to those standards of your message that I've got some amazing training.
Oh, you do. You totally do. You always do, Mary.
Well,
You make things,
and
you make things that are hard for some of us to understand. You make it easy, and that's what I love, especially on the technology end, where
Yeah.
I struggle. I struggle.
well, thank you. And if there's time, Anna, I know I'm going to share a bunch, and then Cynthia's going to share an idea that does great for her month after month after month. If there's time at the end, I would love for you to share the pink 123.
Yeah.
Otherwise, definitely in the future.
Okay.
So I want to
I'm
hear in
going to
the
take
chat.
notes. I'm going to
Yes.
take notes.
Well, you don't
guys are
have
gonna,
to because it's recorded.
I
it is
know.
recorded,
I
but
do better with handwriting though.
Well,
Mary Kay
Cynthia,
Ash always said, the faintest ink is better than the most retentive memory. So if
True.
you got the ability, take notes. If you don't, you'll want to watch the replay and take some notes. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. I know I've talked to several of you guys, and as well as Anna and Cynthia have talked to people, so we kind of have a few ideas, but put in the chat what your biggest hangups are. Because whether we cover it today or we cover it another training, we want to make sure that we're helping you. And oftentimes nothing is too small or too, you're like, oh, that's just a stupid thing, or that's something that's only me, because you'd be surprised how many times it's not just you. It could be all of us, or it could be 5 of us. So if there's something that's your biggest hangup, do let us know. The 2 things that are coming up the most is scheduling things and new customers. So I'm going to talk about those first. And then Cynthia, you're so right, asking people to have a party. And that's actually a little bit further in my notes, that not asking people to have a party, but we have to get out of our own head. This 6 inches right here is our biggest hang up, honestly, friends. Whether it is asking somebody, worrying about what somebody else is going to think of me. I am super, super guilty of that, and I'm getting better and better. I'm a work in progress, but I have to remember nobody else is paying my bills. So this income helps pay our bills, or does pay our bills. And I don't have the luxury of going, oh, Susie thinks that that was stupid, so I shouldn't do it, because Susie's not going to pay my bills. So, Cynthia.
Oh, I just want to encourage people for our party our messenger party on Sunday. I had such a busy weekend. I wasn't able to invite people, and I started at 4 o'clock, and my goal was 100 people, and I got to 60, I think, in 40 minutes, and I had people join, and that I had no idea, and people that I connected with that I'd been afraid to connect with for years. I just did it. I was like, what's the worst thing they can say? Or they're going to ignore it. And I got people who said, maybe next time. I had 3 people on. They all ordered, and one of them booked a party. So,
Which is fantastic. And it reminds me actually that, sometimes we have our schedule and we're like, oh, I didn't get to invite. Now it's last minute, it's happening in 2 hours. I have heard it over and over and over, especially in the last few years, that the majority of yeses comes within like 2 or 3 hours before an event, especially when it's a virtual event. Anna.
I just wanted to add, this month has been a total exploration in my lead bags. Of the 7 that I put down, only 2 really were providing any leads, and luckily for me, they're the ones that were closest to me. Um, I have I have scheduled close to 7 or 8 parties for the month of July, and I've done quite a few. I've probably done over 5 this month. The difference between working with just doing what you normally do with the people that you normally know and bringing in lots and lots of new people is that the new people, once they try the product and are so excited about it, they want to bring people. There's a lot more excitement. So I just want to encourage you, if you are a little frustrated in your business, and if you're like, you know what, I'm not really getting the results that I want, my sales went through the roof this week. My bookings, recruiting, all the things, but it was by being in front of a lot of people and having a set system of exactly what I do with them. So I just wanted to
Yes.
add that in if I could, because Liz.
Okay, so my question is, I always message and post, when I'm gonna be doing an order or doing an order. So I've had 2 people that are interested, and they say they're wanting to order, and then So then I reach back and, remind them. So I guess my question is, if they want, what would the next step be to get them to order? I don't know if
So
that came out
Liz,
right, but
here's the deal. With people, there are going to be people that do what they say. There are going to be people that are going to say that they're going to do things that don't. And then there are going to be people that come out of the blue that do things that you don't expect. And then there are going to be people that do nothing. That's just kind of the way that it is. So if they are showing you to be people that are telling you things but aren't coming through, then believe their steps, I guess. Believe their walk. Um, and I will tell you, this is my personal experience. I haven't done as much virtually as Cynthia and Mary, and I know their businesses are mainly more online than in person. I have found that it is way easier for me when people try product and I'm face to face with them. The old organic way has always worked better for me, which is why I continue the success. I keep going that way. Not to say, because I know Cynthia and Mary have, and Tammy and everybody have a lot of success virtually, but um, again, I feel sometimes that the biggest frustration in business is due to the fact that we're not working with massive amounts of new people. And if you look at Tracy, Tracy went out yesterday and talked with lots of new people and got orders that she normally wouldn't have had. And the frustration's not there because these people haven't ever tried it, and who knows what's going on with everyone else, graduation parties, what have you. So I think the critical key in all of this is you need to be in front of a lot. If you've got big goals in Mary Kay, you need to figure out how to get in front of massive amounts of people. And Cynthia was the one who told me that, I don't know, 6 months ago. I think I was complaining, and she said, Anna, I think I was complaining and talking about some of the people who do it virtually. And they've been very effective at getting in front of lots and lots of new people. But for me, you find your sweet spot and you find the thing that makes you excited and happy. And I think you go that way. So if yours is virtually, then you're going to go that way. That's going to be your way. I'm not saying that because I know that there's a lot of success over there. But for me, I I do way better when I'm in front of the person, you know, face to face, buckle to buckle at the kitchen table. But that's just my experience. But new people is, I think, the key. Mary, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt so
No,
long.
no, no. This is what we are about on Saturday mornings. I love this that we can interact and engage. Um, it's what you were just saying reminds me of I believe it was Leanne David that I did some training with last year, and she talked so much about finding your niche. Everybody needs Mary Kay, but I can't service everybody. And so whether your niche is in person or virtual, it doesn't mean you won't also dabble in the others, but your focus is that. And your niche may be, over 40-year-olds. Your niche may be the, 20 something that's really busy. So finding that and then meeting all their friends, and growing from there. And I think that's the same, whether it's in person or virtual. Anna, you're dabbling with virtual, but your niche is in person. Absolutely. Um, and I've made little notes as we've went because it's like, wow, yes, that's it. Um, but a huge thing is getting out of our head and asking additional new people. And Tracy, you touched on new people, and that was another thing. So hang on, before I start in that, back to the scheduling. Like, okay, the scheduling, I don't have enough time. Visit with your director, and we can help you, but a weekly plan sheet is huge. And sometimes it's physically written out. Sometimes it's looking on my phone going, okay, this is what my week looks like. But I have, and I know the other directors on here have, the Tammy Craig, I believe is who it was, did a 4-hour plan where you blocked 4 different areas of your Mary Kay business and worked at 1 hour each day of each area. You could also break it down if you're like, I ain't got 4 hours a day. Then you could break it down to 15 minutes and making it 1 hour. So we can help you with that. But scheduling it and making sure that you're actually getting to do it. sometimes that's super hard. Most of you guys know, and I share a lot in my private group, life's crazy here. And it was like, this is the last week of the month. I've got to work. And my husband's like, you're going to work. Well, then pretty soon he was going, I have to have your help before I can finish this project. And we had to go meet with different lumber companies for our lumber package this week. And so sometimes that schedule has to go to the wayside for a bit, but then you can pull it back in. Last night we got home, he had to have some help. You know, we had to work together on a few things. And then he's like, okay, that part's done. I'm going out here away from you so that you can work, you know, and get to go on that block schedule that you need to work on. New customers, new leads, whether it's the lead bags that we've talked about, boxes, bags, having them out. Those are sometimes a cooler way, a warmer way. I just seen Tracy holding up the bag, and the bag was actually on my list to share. So this is my bag, and it gets lots of conversation. There we go. And it's something you guys, it's from our director's Bible study. So don't ask, you can't have it till you're a director, but we can help you get it, become a director, and then you can have one. This is our hand sanitizer in here. I absolutely love packing this so I can share it, kind of like Tracy was talking about sharing. MB, I know isn't on camera, but she's got a super cute bag. So maybe you can put a picture of it, MB, and Boxer. And I know that the manufacturer of that, you can't get them brand new anymore, but you maybe can find them elsewhere because it allows her to have goodies kind of on display. And then I'm wearing a shirt that it's a star and it says Mary Kay. I have my makeup and ministry shirts, wearing a shirt that and it doesn't have to be a Mary Kay one, but wearing something. Sometimes people are like, oh my goodness, I love your earrings. It's a conversation starter. And then being able to bring Mary Kay into the conversation. Having products to share, whether they be, so inside of my tote is actually my purse. It was a Mary Kay prize. And in the front of it, we've talked lots about these, but I still have some energizing foot and leg lotion. Now I love the idea of packing this full-sized one in there too. But I also tell them about tips and tricks. So yesterday we met with one of the lumber packages companies to go over our lumber package. And when we left here, we'd had our coffee, but we're not like, we don't eat super early in the morning. So it was like, you know, we like to eat, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning-ish usually. And so I think it was noon when we were done. We went over to IHOP and oh my goodness, if you haven't had their Cinnabon crepes, Sandy's shaking her head. Wow. It's amazing. Okay. But I say that to say I gave this to my waitress. And when I gave it to her, she'd given us our bill. We had paid it. And I said, this is for you. And she was like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And I said, not only is this great to put on your feet and legs at the end of the day or go on your break and try it out. But it's phenomenal right back here on your neck and your shoulders. So giving tips and tricks of what else you can use them for. Tracy, I might say when you're visiting with somebody about the eye patches, not only are they great for right here, but Lori Hogg teaches us to use 6, using 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And so of course you're only giving them 2, but they try them out and they're like, actually, I need a whole bottle because I want to try them. You know, I want the jar so I can try them elsewhere. But giving tips and tricks. Now, Mary Kay won't say that this is good for your shoulders. Mary Kay isn't going to say that that our finishing spray, if you put it on your arms, under your arms before your deodorant, you're not going to have the transfer. The shirt Sandy's wearing, the tank top Sandy's wearing, everybody can get that. I have it. I love it. Yep. Not only is this great for underneath your armpits, put it on, let it dry, and then put your deodorant on. Girls, it's amazing for under the girls. And you don't get the sweat. Very, very true. So tips and tricks. Mary Kay is not going to say that because they spend like $1 billion a year on research and development or something like that. Don't quote me on an amount there, but their research and development is how this works on our face. And so they can't advertise about the other things, but we can share what we have learned that our customers have said. The after sun replenishing gel. Tracy, I think you said you were
I,
packing that around yesterday.
I was.
One of
Wait,
my,
can you tell me about the finishing spray under your arms again? I never
yes.
heard that one. Okay, thank you.
Oh, yes. I've got a video. I'll see if I can put it in our Voxer group. But if you if you spray it on your armpits when they're clean before you put any deodorant on, let it dry. So you're kind of, holding your arms up, and you can do this, or you can just spray and let it dry. You guys know this dries super fast. And then put your deodorant on. You're not going to get the sweat transfer onto your shirts. Absolutely amazing. The after sun that you were sharing about. So I have a customer who had breast cancer and was going through radiation, and she used it all over, and she never once burned. The very last radiation, they actually told her, we're going to do it longer because we've never burned you. That's not normal. Like, something's off. And she's like, well, you see, I have this little secret. And she was, she had her bottle of after sun with her. So those are things, again, Mary Kay can't say it works for this, but they're tips and tricks that we can share. And I don't know about you guys, but I love knowing a tip and a trick and something that can be a double use. And speaking of a double use, I learned this last night. You guys might notice the discoloration. You can't really see close, but you can see that I have something going on right here. I actually have a cold sore, this heat wave that come on super fast. I'm susceptible to cold sores. And so I got a cold sore right up under my nose and then right here. And it like bloomed huge and super fast. And I have a prescription for it. I started taking it, reached out to the pharmacy because I was on my last day and they wouldn't refill. So I got a hold of a live person and she's like, well, they've taken it away. I said, she goes, you have no more refills. I said, I'm looking at my bottle. I have 2 available until next March. Like, how can I not have any? And she said, well, at a checkup, the doctor must have taken it off of your list of active medications because I wasn't currently using it. I only use it when I have a flare up. And so she's like, okay, I'll reach out. I said, well, I have enough to take tonight and in the morning, but I'm going to need some for, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I reached out to my doctor too. Doctor didn't get back to me yesterday. So I was going, oh my gosh, this thing is going away and it's going to get huge this weekend, like freaking out. In talking to another team member yesterday, I learned that this acne treatment gel is amazing for cold sores. She told me all about it. I went into the trailer, grabbed it, put it on. I could feel it shrinking it up. So
Wow.
even though you can actually still see it, it is way, way better than it was 12 hours ago. This stuff is amazing. Mary Kay can never tell us that this is great for cold sores, and it may not work the same on everybody, but tips and tricks. And the stuff, yeah, hot, amazing. So not just for your little pimples that you get spot treating, but cold sores. So, okay, those are like all kinds of different little things here. I do want to say next week is a holiday week. And this is a weekend and it's June and it's summertime and people are busy, but that doesn't mean that they're out for all week long. The holiday is one day. And it's not even like a Christmas holiday where we usually don't really do anything with anybody else besides family and close friends on Christmas, right? Usually 4th of July, we're meeting with all of our friends. We're doing something. So don't let that get into this headspace of going, okay, I can't do anything because it's a holiday week, because there's, people have events, especially in our virtual beings that they could take kind of like the old school, Thanksgiving, I'm going to see all my family. Let me take a catalog and share it with my family. We all have our phones around us. So just grab it and let them get to share. Anna, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, so this has been a real learning curve for me because my birthday is in, Cynthia, by the way, said her internet is down. That's why she's not on. So she's trying to get back on. My birthday week is next week. So I'm getting older. Thank God
Happy
for Mary Kay.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank God for Mary Kay. But I've always felt like the first week in July has not been great for bookings. And what's really, really strange is with this lead bag, I have appointments set up for Monday, Tuesday, and a party on Thursday. And
So
somebody wanted to book,
could that be that your group that you have worked with, your customers, they don't do things that week, but
right.
now you're getting new people who do.
Exactly. But the thing is that's the thing. If you work with enough people, you can get whatever results you want. And that's the thing that kind of changed my head. By the way, thank you, Sandy. Better like wine or chocolate, right? Because that's really where my Tracy knows I love chocolate. She always gives me lots of chocolate. Oops. Let me get out of the chat. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so I got bookings for the week of my birthday. I'm leaving my birthday open. Somebody wanted to book a party on Saturday, but I know Mike has plans for us, so I couldn't book a party Saturday, but that's the 5th. Like, who knew? And I've been doing this for 15 years, so that's all I want to say. Cynthia's back.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, my
Okay.
internet's unstable, so
Well, thank goodness for recordings, then you can catch up where you missed.
Yeah.
And I heard it said also earlier, but this never is too many times to repeat, that you should work like it all depends on you and pray like it all depends on God, because you just never know. Whether it's praying for a new team member and boom, you've got somebody that day, a new customer, or maybe just a new friend that you get to layer with. You just never know why people are coming across our paths. I've heard it said a million times in Mary Kay, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And sometimes it's a reason and a season, and then they come back later. So big thing, get out of your own head. I'm kind of switching gears to some sharing of what we can be doing now, but getting out of our own head. For the longest time, and it was talked about earlier before we hit the record button, but I was worried about what other people were thinking of me. And I know other people were worried about what other people were thinking of them. But getting out of your own head. So putting these on YouTube, doing more lives, doing them not just in my private VIP group, but in my business page. I kind of baby stepped it from my private VIP group to my business page to my Facebook profile, where excuse me, where I have friends that aren't customers and have never bought anything and didn't want to be in my VIP group. But Cynthia, I believe last week when she did the 15-minute party for us, a lot of the people she invited were just friends from Facebook. They weren't customers. And so don't hesitate to reach out to your regular friends. And you can be totally honest with them. Hey, we're trying something new. I know you're not a Mary Kay customer of mine, and that's totally okay, but could you give me your honest opinion? Just of an outsider looking in, what do you think of this? With that being said, I know Cynthia's got a lot of 15-minute parties going on. I will be doing them all weekend long, and then of course next week, but I'm going to focus. We did focused of skincare before, and I'm actually, after this, I'm going to adjust my postings and kind of create another one for a melt proof your makeup. And so if you want to be in those, let us know. I already talked about sharing the multiple uses of Mary Kay products. We've hit on it a few times with the with Anna saying her birthday. Thank goodness for skincare. I was talking to a team member yesterday who said, I've been using the skincare since I was in my 20s. Now I'm, in my 40s, almost 40. And people go, you can't have 5 kids. I don't know how many times I have been reached out to after a training and they've said, you don't look like you could have a daughter who's 20 years old. Wait a minute. Your youngest daughter is 20. You don't look like you could have 4 grandchildren. Mary Kay Skincare. Thank you. Genetically, I've got the same genetics as my siblings, but I'm mistaken for the youngest very often. And I don't say that to brag or boast. I say that to say that there's got to be something to this Mary Kay Skincare, because that's the difference between me and my siblings. So I touched briefly on a link catalog party. There's some boards like where they could click on a board's page that's been created, kind of a scroll party. There's all kinds of ways to be able to share and layer, and just asking people. And again, they don't have to be your customers. You could ask your friends, could you check this out? I know you're not Mary Kay, so that's actually even better if you would give me your opinion as an outsider looking in. What do you think of this? Ask them to compare what they're currently using. Ask them to do a shake up your makeup, like, show me what you're using. Sandy, could you when I get on Zoom or Facebook, video chat, and you show me what you're using, show me what's in your makeup bag. What do you love, like, and hate? And I don't even care. This might sound wrong, and I don't mean it wrong. I don't care, meaning my focus is not going to be what she likes and loves. My focus is going to be, what does she not like that's in her bag, and how can I help her with that? So those, and we've touched about that before. That was oh goodness, right now I cannot think of her name. I've got her picture in my head, but on Mary Kay in Touch, the Shake Up Your Makeup is on there, thanks to her, because she had a customer say, do you want to know why you didn't meet million? I'd like to meet for coffee with you and tell you why you and your didn't finish the $1 Million Club. Yes, Cynthia, instead of trying to force a certain outcome, you pause and take a step back. And when Cynthia does this, answers and solution are more easily reveal themselves. And I have got to say, guys, pray and ask God to give you the right words. Chat GPT is amazing. And God did allow us to have that technology. Now, sometimes he allows bad technology, but sometimes he allows good technology. When my mom was pregnant with my brother, I was almost 15, and I just wanted to know what it was. And she lifted up her shirt and said, do you see a window? If God wanted me to know what this was, he was going to give me a window on my stomach. And I was like, well, God let us have technology of ultrasound. I think it's a good technology. But you just never know. But pray for the right words, because God will give you the right words. And sometimes it's just being a friendly ear, and then later they circle back and go, and Cynthia, your new team member, she was layered little bits with Mary Kay, but she also just sees you in life in general and who you genuinely are. And that draws people to us.
I wanted to just interject. The thing
Yes.
that Cynthia's new team member said was that she saw Cynthia online, and she saw how much fun she was, how strong she was, how beautiful she is. And so that is where truly having somewhat of an online presence is a good idea. I don't do much with videos and whatever, but occasionally I will post a few pictures just to let people know I'm still alive and still on there. But
Yes.
I think that that's really great that Cynthia's person has been following her without even Cynthia even knowing. So that's definitely a benefit.
And Cynthia doesn't post nothing but Mary Kay. She posts life, and she shares about life in general. And so people know you don't just do Mary Kay. Years ago, I met with a customer who was also a friend, and we were newer in the friendship, so she didn't know me really, really well. She met with me and my director, and we were doing a career chat, and she goes, well, it all sounds great, but I can't do this 24/7, because it's all she ever seen me doing was Mary Kay. We were interacting at that stage more just Mary Kay, and our kids maybe at the baseball game or something. But she didn't see the rest of life. So sharing online, not just Mary Kay, Mary Kay, Mary Kay, Mary Kay, but sprinkling it in. Definitely. I'm going to read Cynthia's other comment. I have a strong support system of people who love me and want to see me succeed. I ask for support when I need it, and I offer support in return. That's the huge thing, that last sentence. I offer support in return, you guys. And Cynthia doesn't do it because they gave her support. It's just who Cynthia is. And that's who our customers are. When we're sharing our goals, our customers want to see us succeed. And And some of you guys are like this too. You're like, oh my goodness, you've got a goal and you're this far away. Well, here, my order can help. Sometimes we can push over, and sometimes we're afraid to ask for that. I remember one year reaching out to my director and saying, hey, how far are we from unit club? Okay, I love at seminar that it tells me I'm part of a unit club. And she was like, I'm not even going to worry about that. We were super close. We actually did finish unit club that year. But she was like, well, I'm not going to share and ask for the help because that's not where it is. But other people want to win, and they want to help you win and help you succeed. So we're getting up here on time. I do want to, so 15-minute messenger parties, 5 and 5s. And I'm gonna end with a 5 and 5, and then we're gonna move on to Cynthia. And if there's time, Anna. I do want to say, and I'm gonna share my screen really quick, guys. Now is the time you actually might want to offer team member or customers to choose between the July and the June deal sheet. This is Monica's July deal sheet. I also use Creatively Pink's Pink Perks deal sheet, and I don't have that one handy ready, but this one Cynthia shared this morning, and I was like, oh my goodness, so many of these things are on the Melt Proof Your Makeup. So why not share about that and offer the deal sheet? Because yeah, that means she can get this at 50% off when she spends $50. And so I'm not going to make my extra $10 on this, but she's going to use this and love it, especially once I share all the other stuff, and she's going to reorder it. So really quickly, I believe I've got my 5 things set here ready to share with you guys. So let's see how fast I can do this. First and foremost, it's not part of my 5, but skincare. You cannot have a level 10 look with level 2 skincare. So skincare is super important. Everybody is individual and different here, so I can visit with anybody. Okay, I'm saying this as if I was talking to in my group, to a live group or multiple people. I can visit with you individually to be able to share what would be best for you for your skincare. In addition to regular daily skincare, I highly recommend exfoliation, because exfoliation is going to help get down, clean out your pores. I'm holding up our mini charcoal mask because that's what I had handy. But clearing out my pores is going to allow my makeup to sit on my face better. It's also going to allow my face to breathe. So I'm not going to sweat off all my makeup. I'm not going to have all those wonderful breakouts. All right, so the 5 items. The mattifying moisturizer. This is part of our Mary Kay basic skincare line, I guess you could say. It replaced our botanicals. It also, this particular product kind of replaced the oil mattifier. So whether you use your regular moisturizer or you use this as your moisturizer, this is going to help pull the oil and keep your skin not oily, which is going to help with our melt proof our makeup. So I have been using this every single day. It's phenomenal. And any of these, I'm doing this quick and fast. So anything you guys want to talk about or know about, do reach out, comment, those types of things, and we can talk more about it. Number 2, the finishing spray. This finishing spray is amazing, and I use it over and over and over again in my layers. After my moisturizer, this is how quick and easy it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all over. Now, when Mary Kay first came out with this, they said, you do that once you've put on your makeup and it's set for the day. But what I have found for the Melt Proof Your Makeup is I do this over and over every layer, and it really helps. Number 3, foundation primer. Foundation primer has a little bit of sunscreen in it. Think spackle for your face. Okay, I'm sitting in our processing room, and I have covered up all kinds of little holes behind me as I was painting to give it a nice smooth finish. This is going to give you a silky smooth finish, and it's going to help grab and hold your foundation longer. So this is absolutely amazing. Again, another layer is what I do of this. After my foundation, and I have tested it, you don't have to only use CC cream. You could use your regular liquid foundation or whatever foundation you're using. So you put that one on. Another little tip, spritz this on your blending sponge. It's amazing. It'll help more. So I go ahead and put that on. Number 4 is your powder. And I personally use our translucent powder. And when I put it on here, the first thing I do is I'm going to press in, and I'm going to press like this and kind of roll only in areas where I'm getting really oily. And so after that, I'm going to take my brush and just brush down, because our hairs grow downward. So if I brush up, I'm just accentuating my hairs. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to brush down everywhere else, all over, including those areas that I pressed in. So it's just giving me that flawless finish. Again, using more spray, doing all my makeup. And then the 5th and final is our beauty blotters. These are amazing, ladies. And it says blotters for a reason. So whether you're using this, or last week when I was dripping with sweat, or 2 weeks ago, putting insulation in the walls, I got my microfiber cloth out that I would only touch my face with and nothing else. And I didn't wipe my face when I was sweating. I blotted it. And that way it wasn't smearing everything around. Okay. But these things are amazing. And now I wish I wouldn't have actually put this all over. So I could have showed you, but there's these little tissues. Unlike a tissue that you would blow your nose with, this is not going to get little wood particles and chips all over you. And so you're just going to go. And again, I'm not sweaty right now, so you're not going to see. But if I was sweaty, these are the areas that I would be sweaty in. And sometimes my forehead gets really sweaty. So when I do this, it literally will stick there. And you just kind of blot it and then peel it off. And you can't see really anything on there right now because it's not, but you would see like it'd be all wet. And then I just throw it away. So those are the 5 must-haves to melt proof your makeup. I'm going to check our chat real quick to make sure there was no questions. And then we're going to move on to Cynthia and Anna. What product is the first one? The first one was skincare. And after skincare was the mattifying moisturizer.
And then when do you do, well, I use CC cream. When do you
So
do that?
CC cream would be right after the foundation primer. Yep.
But do you do the finishing spray?
I do. I do a layer of finishing spray in between every single layer.
Okay. So, and then the beauty blotters you just carry with you.
I just carry with me. And side note, I had totally forgotten, like these were out of sight, out of mind. They were all in my little demo drawer. They were wherever. Lando and I were headed out the other day, and we had just done something and I was all sweaty. And I was like, oh my gosh, my beauty blotters. And I grabbed them, and I didn't have powder to put over or nothing. I grabbed them. We jumped in the truck and left, and I did that. And we were gone like 10 hours. You couldn't tell that I didn't have flawless makeup. These things are amazing. And they're
So do
only
you do the translucent powder and then the CC cream, or the CC cream and translucent powder?
CC cream and then translucent powder.
Yeah.
This sets my makeup, gives me that matte look that I'm after.
Okay, I'm gonna try that today.
Yes. I would love to know what you guys think of it. So, all right, that's all I have. Cynthia, you're going to share an idea. And if we have time, Anna's going to share her pink 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so my idea is when you see birthdays on Facebook and they're not your customers and they're not somebody else's customer, always check to see who your mutual friends are so you don't take anybody's customer. And then I just send them a private message and say, happy birthday. I have a special gift for you. And if they answer, I tell them that it's a beauty pack and a beauty session. So, and that's about it. I can put the scripts in there. So, oh, you raised your hand.
I did. So in that, if you have a mutual friend, if Cynthia and I have a mutual friend, Cynthia would do this, I would do this, still reach out to them and make sure, like if I'm reaching out to my birthday girls, I'm going to say, hey, Anna, happy birthday, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to say, I know that Cynthia and I are both friends with you. Is she your Mary Kay girl? Because more often than not, she will be her Mary Kay girl, but you will find those times when you've got lots of mutual friends and lots of them are consultants. So you're like, oh, she's already being serviced by somebody. and they're not, even if they're a top consultant. So definitely do that. Ask everyone and reach out to people who react to your posts. Doesn't have to be post about Mary Kay. It can be about general life and stuff. So, yes.
Yes, so I had somebody and I sent her a beauty pack. I keep following up with her and she's like, "Oh, I think I lost it when I moved." And I was like, "Well, let's get together and I can walk you through it and then you can choose which samples you want to, or what products you want to get or something." So I'm still keeping up with her, even though it's, a little discouraging that she lost it and didn't think enough of it. So I probably should have followed up more. So, anyways, that's it. So Anna, I want to hear from you before we close.
Okay. And if we go over, if you guys have to go, I totally get it. I can redo it another time. But I wanted to just remark on Cynthia's real quick. Cynthia, don't be discouraged. Discouragement is because you're not working with enough people, because there are going to be the people that disappoint you. How many of you have experienced that?
Hey, what did Cynthia put in her beauty pack? I'm sorry.
Pardon me?
What did Cynthia put in her beauty pack that she's saying what was in it?
Oh, I've gone to just skincare and microdermabrasion. I used to give them a choice of you can choose between microdermabrasion, charcoal mask, and makeup. But microdermabrasion is, where you want to start. And it's the best. They see the best results. I have them do it on one side, not the other. And choices make it more difficult for people.
Mhm.
And it's faster. Your Zoom appointment is faster because I have customers all over the country. So that's how I appeal to them, is that I can be your Mary Kay consultant, whether you're in Arkansas or Oregon, So, and they like that. And the Zoom is fast then. So I don't give them a choice anymore. I just say a beauty pack and a beauty session with me. So now I started to say beauty session and beauty pack. And Trisha does it without any samples. So maybe you should put your script in the Voxer. So because I'm trying to do that now.
Yes,
It's
Trisha,
hard.
we would love to hear how you do it without. So if you could share that in Boxer, because
Probably do the same thing you're doing. I just eliminate the words that I'm going to mail you care package or whatever, how you guys word it. I just eliminate that. And it's as if it's no surprise. This is just how this is what Mary Catherine says. This is what everybody's doing.
Oh yeah,
well,
I
and
don't word it like
allows
that.
it to happen. Sorry, go
But
ahead.
no, I don't word it like that. I just don't give them the option of getting the little goodie bag.
It allows it to happen faster, so you're not waiting for the mail to arrive to them. And then you
Yes.
can
Yeah.
always offer them a discount, like, $20 off of a set, off of a skincare set, if they choose. That's their gift. And if they don't purchase that, then that's fine. You're not out anything.
Yeah. And
Remembering that they have 100% guarantee. So,
If you
if
think
I was
about it-
Trisha's friend, she offered that. Trisha would be telling me, you're not obligated to purchase anything, but if you like anything and you want to try it out, Mary Kay has a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So I'm not going to walk into, where was I at yesterday? Kohl's, and literally physically try their skincare out on my face, but I'm going to buy it. And then if I don't like it, I'm going to take it back if they'll accept a refund, return. Some don't, but Mary Kay has that.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
I was doing what Mary Catherine does, and this actually helped. I told them that I would give them they won a summer skincare session via Zoom plus a $20 gift card towards a purchase of one of my sets. And that actually pulls them in right there. I don't think I'd lose any money, because if some do purchase a smaller set, through the time I've done this, trust me, it's worth it to give them the $20 off of a set. Or they can upgrade and get, I don't do 50% anymore, and get the hostess special, which is either 40% or you can do the 80 for 40, however you want. They could, but you would say upgrade. But I can absolutely share that in the Boss Babes. That's fine.
Yes, please.
I was going to say thank you, Trisha, because all of my Zoom appointments that I do at QVC style. I realize that if QVC can sell products without trying it, and I don't have an assistant to help mail the stuff out, it just takes too long for me because I'm busy doing a lot of in-person appointments. But I know, like Kim, for instance, was a customer before she became a consultant, and we did Zoom appointments where she didn't try it. We talked it through, and she bought product. And I've done a lot of those. So don't think that you have to buy a lot of samples and do it that way. A lot of people will, if you can describe what it does, and if you can, tell them the benefits, it works. You can do it QVC style. Sandy has done it when she's invited people to our event and her customers haven't had samples. I think, Sandy, didn't you have like a $500 sale from one of our parties? So you can do it either way. For me, you guys know I have to do it very simply. I don't like to be really flustered. So I don't put together beauty packs. Now, if they're buying product, I'll throw in some samples for them and then we'll try something else. But I don't like to have to go through all of that. It takes a little bit of time to get those samples together. And I do a lot more in person anyway, but I just wanted to comment on that. I think probably let's do the pink one, the pink opportunity for the next time. And just so you guys know, that's what Trisha knows how to do this. Cynthia knows how to do it. Sandy probably too, because we used to do it that way. Tracy.
Anna, do you have to go right away or do you mind sharing? I know we're over, but if you guys have
no,
to get off.
I can share as long as it doesn't interfere with anyone else's schedule.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, the pink opportunity is, number one, you have a little eye story. And mine used to be fairly long. And what I've learned with these new people, I'm trying to get them done within 40 minutes to 60 minutes. So I've way shortened my eye story. It goes something like this. When I started Mary Kay, I was working full-time in corporate America for about 75 hours. My two boys were in full-time daycare, costing more than my mortgage. So I started Mary Kay as a way to stop trading time for money. There's a lot that's happened in between, and I'll share a little bit more as I go through, as we try the products. But basically today, my Mary Kay business still suits my lifestyle because my parents both have cancer and I go back and forth to help them. So now instead of my parents, instead of my children, I'm helping my parents. So then I say, okay, I'm going to share a little bit about the opportunity because one of my goals is to grow my team to 100 as quickly as possible. And whether this is for you or not for you, really is not an issue because I'm looking for good talent scouts. So maybe if you knew a little bit about this and you guided me to the right person, I'll have a $75 shopping spree if they are good and get started. So they're always all about helping me. And I always tell them I'm interested in finding out what interests people. And as a sales director, that's part of my job. So then I have them on the back of their profile card write PINK. You know that little pink area in the profile card where it says this is for the beauty consultant, don't write here? I tell them, well, I'm in charge, so I'm going to give you permission. You can go ahead and write there. Just write PINK going down. And then to the right of that, write 1, 2, 3 going down. And then I start off with the P. I'll say, okay, so P stands for products. Write down products next to the P. In Mary Kay, we have amazing products that can withstand any kind of economy. This is very relevant because right now our economy is trying to get going again, right? So I'll say there are 3 industries that can do well in any kind of economic recession, any kind of economic downturn. They are alcohol, tobacco, and cosmetics. Apparently, we all drink more and smoke more when we're stressed out, and women really always want to feel pretty. And I say to them, we all kind of roll the same way. Like, how many of you feel like when you are sad, you want to feel pretty and you want to get something to do that? Like, that's always a time when I get my hair done, or I'll try a new lipstick, or I'll try a new cream. How many of you are like me? And I raise my hand, okay? And it's the truth, right? Okay, so I stands for income. I used to say income potential. but people can't, maybe I don't speak it well enough. So I'll just say income. I'll say there's two different ways that we can make our money. The first way is by selling our products. And in Mary Kay, don't hate me, but we make 50% of whatever we sell. And I'll say, so Susie, if you buy it, or Sandy, if you buy it for 20 bucks, it's going to cost me 10, which means that in any kind of a selling situation, I can double my money on the spot. Everybody's like, boom, double your money, right? The other way I can make income is by recruiting a team member. And I say, this is super interesting because Mary Kay pays their commission out of our corporate retail profit. It doesn't come out of anybody else's pocket. I said, that makes me feel good. So anybody that gets started can make 50% of whatever they sell and can make a commission when they recruit a new team member. I'll tell them between 1 to 3 team members, you can make up to 4% commission. That's really good. In my corporate job, that was the most you could make, but usually it was only 2 to 2.5%. And I'll say, then after that, you can make 9 and up to 13% commission. And at all of these stages, you can make extra cash bonuses. And at the beginning of your business, you can even earn free product bonuses. And then I'll say, as a sales director, and I've been a sales director for 13 years, you can make up to 26% commission and cash bonuses. I said, that's a real way to make income. Okay, I moved from there. N stands for nothing to lose or new beginnings, whichever is more relevant to you. As a consultant, you really have nothing to lose because Mary Kay has a 90% buyback program. And that means that in 365 days, if you wanted to just try this business out, we call it our summer pilot program right now. But basically, you can try this whole thing out. There are no quotas, no territories, no penalties if you don't work your business. But basically, all the upside, right? And if, let's say, you have some product laying around and you don't want to do it anymore, you can actually box that up, anything unused in the last 365 days, send it back to Mary Kay, and they're going to give you 90% back of what you spent. I said, that's a safety net that no other company will offer you. So all this upside potential, and you can try it out. And I'll say, hey, but you know what? If you were to do that, I would not do that. Let me, as your sales director, know I can help you to sell it at 100%. And then you can always come back in when things get a little bit easier for you. Because when you do that, they have to destroy the product because of our 100% guarantee. So I would hate to have you never be able to do this again. And then I'll say, if you chose new beginnings, remember I told you that I started my business to stop trading time for money. Well, during that time, I had met who I thought was Prince Charming. I said it was a horrible situation. And about 10 years ago, he threatened my boys, and I ended up having to pack up all of the things that I could in my free Mary Kay car and move out and start my life over. Since then, I have earned 10 free diamond rings. We just picked up our 9th free car. I even earned a free trip to the Bahamas. It was great because I got to invite my mother, who was diagnosed with cancer 3 years later. So she and I got to go before she was sick. And I say, don't you all think that women are always either coming into a crisis or leaving a crisis? Everybody needs some sort of extra income. Okay, I leave it there. I don't really indulge in it anymore. K stands for kit. Write that down. I pick up the Mary Kay starter kit, which is so super cute. And I have a real pretty scarf on it, right? And I'll say, this is the pink group on a Barbie chemistry set. And you can get started with this for $130. That includes $400 worth of full retail product, samples, testers. It includes a website for a full year and a way to process credit cards, all for $130. There you go. And you know what? That's really great. But I said, after the pandemic, we all had to learn to do things a different way when they shut us down. So there's another way to get started, and it's even less expensive. It's only $35. How many of you would agree that you can't go anywhere and spend like 35 bucks and get anything, right? But for $35, you can start your business for 12 months with no quotas, no territories, only a potential to either get your discount, have tax advantages, but you can have samples, lookbook, you get me, all the virtual tools, a website for a full year, and a way to process credit cards for 35 bucks, and see what you could do with it. All right, ladies, now that you've gotten that down, We're going to answer the questions. So the first question is really, what did you think about the opportunity? What stood out to you the most, or what did you find most interesting? So write that down. Usually people tell me, like they start telling me as they're writing it down. And then I'll say under number 2, I know you may never consider doing this, but I want you to think about this theoretically. If you were to try something like Mary Kay, why would you do this? Okay. And sometimes they really can't think of a reason. And I'm like, well, maybe you need some extra cash. Maybe you love to get together with your friends. Maybe you love to try beauty products. It could be anything. Maybe you'd like a free car. Most women are telling me that they like the idea that they could try something without a penalty, that there's nothing to lose. Okay. And that they could work it in pockets of time. The last question is how you would like to finish today. And you have 4 choices. A is absolutely sign me up. Man, for 35 bucks, I might as well give this a shot. It's not like giving up a kidney. Okay. I have nothing to lose. B is, you know what? Sounds really great, Anna, but I have some questions. Could you sit down maybe with a cup of coffee? Could we have a little time and I can ask you some questions? C is, you know what? This all sounds great, but I really feel more comfortable. I love the products. I'd like to learn how to maybe get something discounted or for free. Could you share with me a little bit more about that? D is, I'd rather stand naked on a street corner selling pencils than ever try something like this. A, B, C, or D. They laugh. Again, it's all, you guys know, for those of you, Lorelei, Liz, India, Tracy, and Kim, you guys know that the reason why we use boob job set and we use some of these analogies is because it's funny. It kind of breaks the ice and makes people relax. It's not because I'm really trying to push those kinds of things. I don't want them to feel pressured. And it's in that moment that the lady that I talked with a couple days ago, she's like, I never really ever thought about this, but I think I might want to know a little bit more. So it gives them just a smattering, right? But I used my iStory used to be super long. I've really shortened it because I need to do lots of multiple appointments and I group people together and I need to get done quickly because otherwise I can't move on to the next people. And I'm having everyone come to me like in the beginning of my business. So that way, if somebody cancels, I'm not stuck and I'm not driving all over Hell's Half Acre. That's it. That's the pink opportunity. I think everyone here is familiar with it because I've done it with everyone here. Liz knows I've done it with her.
I
Done
use,
it with
I
Tracy.
use it.
Yeah,
I
that's
use
what I
it.
do. And we used to show like a little picture. I don't show a picture. I just do it quick.
I love it. And you guys, Anna, I'm gonna have to watch the recording to take more notes, but I was scribbling like crazy because the faintest ink is better than the most retentive memory. But I'm thinking I'm gonna share this with my VIP group. They are my girls, my friends. Many of them are customers, but not always, or not all of them. And just ask them, like you said, it's may not be for them, but they can be my talent scout. And wow, when you said that you offer $75 in credit if I don't remember the exact word. They wrote it
If
down.
they find
$75 shopping spree if they get started.
No, I offer them a $75 shopping spree if they help me find somebody good that gets started.
That gets, but your key word there was get started, not
Yeah,
just okay. I got a new team member, but they get started, and that excited me. So if it's going to excite me, it's going to excite my customers.
Right. So
You know?
I will reward them a $75 shopping spree if they find me somebody who gets started. They do a party. They become qualified. I don't just offer them a $75 shopping spree if they find me somebody that signs up. I don't. And here's what I've learned, that I'm really looking for people that are looking for more in their business. I do sign up people for personal use if they order enough that it makes sense. If they order enough that makes sense, but I'm not looking for the onesie twosie. Like I have people on my team that when they order, they're ordering $500, $600 at a time. That makes sense. And then they have family members and then they're going to group that on and it's going to still be a good team member for me. But what I'm really looking for is somebody who's looking to do something with this business because I don't want to be frustrated. How many of you don't want to be frustrated? Okay. So we got to look for those people. And if you're going to sign up somebody for, anybody can choose to do it for personal use. It's not like I stop somebody if that's what they want to do. But I'm looking and I'm telling them, I'm looking for people. And I'm telling them what
That's
I'm looking for.
that's your niche, and you're not going to stop somebody. So when Mary Kay was only or 99% in person, it was like, you wanted your unit extremely diversified and you wanted lots of diversity. And they said, go to 5 areas. That way, when something's happening economically in 2 or 3 areas, you've still got areas that you can go out and work in. You're still getting those, but your niche is what you're focused on. I
Right.
love it.
Right. And I would like to try one of these 15-minute parties because I think that there are moments when you need to, I think it's very important to learn both sides, find your niche, do what makes you excited, but like fit in some of these other things because you never know when it's just going to help you top it off. And I just wanted to
Mhm.
say one thing too. I posted on our team page the two sheets for the 50% off VIP deals. I want to tell you, ladies, a lot of people, a lot of directors during this last week or in the beginning may offer double deals. With the right customer, I offer them double deals whenever they place a good size order. And it may be all month long. It never hurts me. It always helps me because they get started on a new product, half off. It doesn't cost me anything. It helps me get to my goal faster. And then what's really great about it is they continue to buy it at full price, right? So it
Mhm.
hurts me, and then they get something extra from me, and I'm not even doing the gift with purchase anymore. They're getting those half off deals, and I do double deals. And you can do that with your business. You're in charge. That's why you're independent. So don't feel like you can't. So you don't have to ask permission. It's your business. You can do that if you want to. So I would encourage you to definitely use those sheets. I used to be a little afraid of it. And I don't offer it, just by the way, I don't offer it to the new people coming to me, these new people that I'm starting with. They get it once they're a continuing customer. Because I want to sell them
Yeah.
whatever I can sell them that first time round, right? And I give them discounts with my set sheet, which, Mary, were you able to figure out how to fit that to a page? And
I have not been on my laptop, but I do have it pulled up right now so that I can do that.
if you
Because I do
can,
believe,
because I have messed around with it and I can't, and I hate to bother Missy with it. She did fix the prices on there, so that was good. Missy
Yeah.
created it, that the one that I love, the I deserve it all sheet.
yes, I actually just downloaded it, so I'm waiting for it to show up in my downloads. It's downloading right now. And then it'll show me whether it's properly in there and I can hit print. But I do believe that that one is, that when you download it, there we go, it just downloaded. When you click the share button and click the download, you need to go to the PDF for printing.
I have to figure that out. But I want to tell you, ladies, that was the other thing that I discovered. I was using a set sheet that had mostly like the miracle set, the ultimate miracle set, and the beyond miracle set. And I wasn't getting the results that I really wanted. And I'm technologically a little disadvantaged or challenged. So I didn't know how to make my own set sheet. So anyway, I found the one that I wanted, and I revamped where we upgraded the prices because the prices changed. When did they change? May. They changed in May. Um, and that's another thing. So use the hostess program that works for you. The one that's always worked for me, I've never done the 50% off because I need to make money. This is how I live and eat indoors. So I've done the 80 for 40 successfully from the get-go, and I continue to do the 80 for 40.
So
The set sheet that works for me is this I deserve it all. It's the one that I really seem to sell the most with. So that's the one that I use. And then the recruiting, thing that I do that actually works the best for me is the pink opportunity, which these are all things that I learned in the beginning of my business that I tried to stop doing because other new things came up and I thought, maybe that'll work better. I'm going back to what worked for me. So
So I know that we've ran over, but I do want to share this. So I'm going to share my screen because it does work. And this way if Anna's got this question, I'm sure she's not the only one who has this question. So the link is in our Voxer, but I have it open, so I'm gonna share my screen.
Can you make it so it's double-sided too, so it'll print double-sided, Mary?
So I know I can on my printer. Previously, my old printer, I couldn't, but what I did at that point is I would print one side, put it back in there and print the other side
Oh,
as a separate page, and then it was double-sided. So let me move my little box. There we go. Okay, this is the, if I move it again, over to that side there. Okay, so in Canva, this is what you're looking at. This is the link Anna's talking about that has both pages on it. And if you go to the share and click download, automatically it says PNG is suggested. But if you click here, it says best for printing, PDF print. So I saved it as that. And then it downloaded to my laptop. So I've got it downloaded, and then I reopened it. Here we go. I opened it, and this is how I know it's going to fit properly to the page, is I actually went to my print screen. And when this pulls up, it says it's going to use 2 sheets of paper. And
oh, and
there's
it's
the first
print
sheet.
on both sides too. So
It's, there's the first page, and this is the second page. And yes, my personal printer that I have now, I can tell it to print on both sides, or I can tell it to print on one side. But if your printer doesn't allow this, then you just print page 1 instead of 1 and 2. Take it back out, put it into your feed tray, and print the second page, and then you have a double-sided.
Can you send that to me in the PDF form, Mary?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. Actually, I can just upload it to Voxer, so it's in there for everybody.
Thank you, because you know what? I just want to print 12 of these and laminate them today, so that way next week I am prepared, because the ones that I have are a little blurry. So.
And I had a team member ask just this last week about these, so I'm going to send this to her so that she can see, because she's like, well, you know, where are you getting them? Well, everybody is individual. You know, you can use different ones, etc. And I had explained to her that I put my closing sheet on one side, and then I have an opportunity page. They're laminated, and the opportunity is up with their tray sitting on top of it. So if they, you know, if they're like, oh, what's that? And they move their tray, they're looking about the opportunity, because this is the beginning of the party. They haven't, you know, I don't want them to see the prices and the sets. And then sometimes before they've even tried it, they've determined what they're going to get.
I don't ever give them placemats till the very end, because people do pull it out and they'll start looking. So if I were you, I would hold off giving them a placemat till they've tried the product and they love the product.
Yes. Yep. Awesome. You guys, I loved this morning. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, lady.
Thanks.
Sorry we went over.
Bye.